Not that I'm aware of.
Mm. Can Lowen try to make a necklace out of the dragon tooth that she was given?
Does she have string or anything else that that is that in her disguise? Does she have like a disguise kit, anything of that nature?
Oh, she has silk rope.
That can work. Let's see. What type of check should that be? And she's got small tools, so I imagine that she has the ability to put a hole through the tooth. Um, so I think I'm gonna go with dexterity to see how well you can, make the hole through the tooth in order to thread the bit of the cord and such.
Okay.
Sadly, as you try to maneuver your tools, you unfortunately shatter the part of the tooth that you were attempting to put a hole through, and part of the tooth crumbles out. It looks like it still looks like a dragon tooth, but now it's like its structural integrity is compromised, and it doesn't look
Shit.
like it'll be usable as part of like a necklace.
Can I fucking attach it to my bear rug then with some rope? Like, I don't even know. Just tie it on the. It was supposed to be like a decoration kind of
You can
thing,
like
but
instead of trying to thread something through the tooth, and break it some more, you can always push the tooth through part of the rug and stop it once the tooth widens.
Push it through your ear, dumbass, and make an earring out of it.
Topaz is gonna get infected.
You're already infected.
What the fuck do you mean? Okay. Oh, I have. I guess can I try to replace one of my earrings with it?
Hmm. It's well, that's true. It is the tooth size of a young dragon, not something that much bigger. So it shouldn't be a huge tooth. What sort of earrings do you wear now?
Right now she has like hoops and stuff. I think she has gauges
Okay, if she
in the
has gauges,
picture.
especially, it's yeah, she could probably get that in there. Roll Constitution saving throw to see if there's any lingering problems doing that.
Okay.
No, you managed to get it through the hole in one of your ears. It's a little bit heavy, but your ears gotten used to taking this sort of thing.
There you,
That reminds
there you
me.
go.
I would actually.
But Noxie,
Is it possible?
you're fading off. What are you trying to say?
Uh, I would like to, if possible, find a place to buy a disguise kit. Now that I've been reminded by
All right.
that is a proficiency I've always had. I just never have had a disguise.
So it looks like Volan and Topaz are going back to their room. As for how much a disguise kit costs, you didn't make enemies out of your out of the woman at the general store, did you? That was a couple of the other people.
Yeah, that was immediate.
I can't hear you at all. Can you try reloading, Noxie, please? Because I really can't hear what you're saying. Thank
Is
you.
this better?
So far, so good. What'd you say about her?
I don't. I might have been rude to her, but
You weren't the one that casts friends or charm person or whatnot on her.
um,
Yeah.
Who did that?
Lobu?
Oh, figures.
Yeah, she really doesn't like him. I designed her to be this really nice shopkeep, and everybody's gone in there and made it just antagonized this poor woman.
We hate.
Uh, to be fair, Dread hasn't been in.
Yes, so,
oh yeah,
so
wouldn't.
yeah, that's true. You were just that's right. Lobu was disguised at that point.
Might recognize the voice though.
Yeah. Disguise kit would cost you 25 gold.
Okay, that's fine. I'll pay that.
It's funny when you walk in and say this is a shop. I thought it was a whorehouse. It doesn't really go over too well for some reason.
That's usually what you say.
That was fine.
Alright. And anybody else have anything they wish to do for this evening? No visits to taverns, no interesting chats. Just straight on to morning. You're good.
So
Okay. Let's see.
we were getting out of here and heading back up to Salt Marsh, right?
Right, but we're missing our Warforged friend. Which I would hope they'd be back by now, because Sylvan's back, but I'm sure they're fine, right?
Well, it seems like didn't go and tell us that they stayed at the temple or something like that.
Right.
Probably
Guess what,
fucking
we-
malfunction and the legs walked one way while the head tried to go the other.
Don't want to give you that, but you're probably right.
Out of character, fuck both of you. Jackasses.
We are dysfunctional, not non-functional. Thank you very much.
There's a difference.
Sorry, dysfunctional, not malfunctional.
So we're gonna sit here on our hands and wait.
Sounds like me. I'll go up to the temple and see if I can find them.
Did you want us to come with you?
It's up to you.
Are you gonna like end up stuck there praying?
No, Topaz. I'm not going to end up stuck there
Right
praying.
then.
Hey, Grizz.
Yep.
What time is it?
It would be morning at this point.
Because we were planning on heading to the temple during the day. We were
Yeah.
just waiting at was it the Tower University?
Yeah.
What was it
Yeah.
called again?
Mage College.
The Obsidian Hall. Hold on. Let me get my actual name here.
I'm getting everything on the ship ready
The
to
Obsidian
go.
Hall. Yeah, I was right the first time.
Moment's notice. We
Okay.
can take off.
So Topaz is staying there on the ship. Dread, you're going off to look for Fumblesworth. Noxie, you staying on the ship or you heading out with Dread?
I'll go with Dread.
Okay. Dread, do you remember which temple that those two were going to?
Keylor?
So, you find yourself at the Temple of Palor, which is you could kind of see from the docks, like you're looking out across the city as it slopes around. You could the spires and such on the Temple of Palor is rather recognizable. It's kind of like you're looking around at a conventional city in our world and looking for a cathedral. You could probably pick one out. Even if you aren't a worshiper there, it's like, okay, yeah, I know that shape. That's the shape of a cathedral. So you recognize the Temple of Palor by its, spires and whatnot, and manage to head in that direction along with Noxie. And managed to arrive there right about the same time as Fumblesworth is getting to the doors of the temple.
Ah, Cogsworth.
Nice to see you.
I'm here too.
I know, yes. I was about to say hi to you.
Good seeing the two of you. Did you come to join us?
To be honest, I don't know what went on after we had the clearance.
We're gonna try and get my
Wait.
body.
Player incident? What happened?
Well, let's just say that Topaz thinks she's evil. We had a little fight
Well, you know what? We didn't. It's all over now. No one is anybody dead.
No,
No
not
one's
yet.
dead yet, so it's fine.
I'm glad no one's dead though, because I'm not going to be trying to drag Topaz out of prison.
Keyword is yet.
Yes, actually,
It's a new day.
that does bring a point. You probably have to heal Topaz more. Because she told me not to cast any spells on her, and that includes healing spells.
That will remain up in the air for the time. I do try to watch over life, not the taking of it. But speaking of life, we need to get someone's life back. So would you like to join us?
Sure. Now, Nox, you want to come with us?
He shrugs and just starts.
Right. And then we'll go into the temple and look for someone that's not busy.
All right. Well, the this particular temple doesn't usually have service on this particular day, but the father in residence appears to be open for questions. He's up near the pulpit and seems to smile gently as he sees you. A middle-aged balding man with some wisps of brownish hair and stares out at you with big brown eyes. It's like, oh, you are new to this temple. What can I do for you?
I do apologize for the intrusion, as I do follow Helm. But I do have a request that
All are welcome here.
and thank you for that. But I do have a request I was hoping someone would be able to help us with. But it is a lot to ask.
Oh. The guy looks the three of you over. It's quite an unusual grouping. I don't think I've ever seen... Well, I've never seen any of your kind. Maybe the locals of yours. And he looks at Dread. But he looks at Noxie and then Cogsworth and says, I've never seen anyone like the two of you.
Well, if you saw someone like the two of us, then there'd be something wrong.
His eyes raise a bit as he looks back at the Warforged, and suddenly a different voice came out of the mouth.
Aye.
Oh, my.
This is the problem.
Temple, may I?
Yes, sorry.
A
Two in one body?
A very, very long time ago, a friend of mine, Fumble,
Aye.
one of the eyes
Hello.
with in the arm waves, was unfortunately sacrificed by a cult. I happened to be there and I attempted
that
to
is
save her,
quite terrible.
but I apparently was too late. I vaguely remember pleading to my god to do anything to save her, and then I woke up over 400 years later with the group behind me, and Fumble residing within my frame. With her, she has her own memories, so we do believe that she was the one that I couldn't save, and we're looking for some form of assistance to get her back.
400 years, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Roll me an intelligence check, please.
Okay. Where's my intelligence? There's my intelligence. 18.
It suddenly, your memory bank fizzles for a moment, and suddenly the figure pops out with 500 years.
Oh. Apparently 500 years. I misspoke.
That is quite a long time.
I agree. I would still be under a heap of rubble if it wasn't for my friends. Our friends. Sorry, Fumble.
It's
The-
fine. I'm used to being lumped together with you at this point.
The most powerful spell that I know how to, well, that I'm aware of how to cast, that can be cast is it is called True Resurrection, but that can only go up to 200 years from what I understand.
From What I have been told by a friend of mine who has an odd knack for knowing things, given my unusual circumstance, she believes that it could work.
Well, going to have to.
Go ahead.
I said we're going to have to discuss things with the abbot. That is a very powerful spell. It's also rather expensive, and there's no guarantee it will work.
I do understand that completely, which is why I know it is much to ask.
Well, yes, and it's not something I personally am able to do. You understand? The abbot of my order might have a better shot at that. Let me see. GM is now looking up. Lots of background noise. Sorry.
You're fine. For some reason, her mom, Fumble's mom, just got really angry and shoved one of our dogs through the door to come downstairs.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
gonna get him put away, and then we'll
Apache.
resume. Give me 2 seconds.
It's kind of what I figured.
Come here.
Now Apache's acting up. Because usually it's Dutch. Do you guys see the pictures they posted of the two dogs?
Where's Dutch? Hi, bud. Be good. And you're okay with me doing the negotiation?
Huh?
You're okay with me negotiating?
Yeah.
Right. I am back. You were talking about the abbot.
Yes. Over in the city of Estovis, the abbot does reside, and I because this is interesting to me as well, I can write you a letter, and suggest you go see him. But it would be remiss in not letting you know about another option. One that might be cheaper if it is indeed possible to restore the body.
And what would that be?
Do you know anything about the Silverwing Mountains?
Do I know anything?
Roll roll a history check.
Would Fumble know
12.
anything?
Both of you can roll a history check.
Intelligence just flat. Oh, sorry, she's history. I'm done.
Okay.
Ignore me.
17 for Fumble.
Alright. You remember the Silverwing Mountains, being since Fumble, the person you used to be, you don't have your actual memories exactly, but it's kind of weird. You kind of have this faint thing. You remember them back in that age, 500 years ago, that there was this kingdom that had been set up in the Silverwing Mountains, that it was protected by really cool silver dragons. That was probably one thing that got the story spread. But the most amazing thing is that the type of people that were living there, people that, in a way, kind of like you or and such, those who had been marginalized but still wanted to be good people, but were typically from races that weren't necessarily looked at as good, like orcs and goblins at the time, hobgoblins that were running away from the goblinoids who were running away from the from the Argenium Imperium, not wanting to live in under such rules. Those that didn't want to settle in the Greylands. Torikar, which is where the Greylands, which is where Noxie's from. Greylands is the city name. Torikar, the Silverwing Mountains is just to the northeast of that. And you keep hearing the name in your head. Gridstrap the Goblin Queen. Yes, that is where I get my display name from. She is actually one of my characters. It is not just a random name, and she's from this storyline. Well, from Ollaras, that a seemingly ageless goblin who ruled over with kindness and gentleness over the lands of the Silverwing Mountains, and accepted anyone who, who wished to, lead a good life, unlike expectations of their race, or those who had been forced to battle all their lives and then wished, didn't see any other way out because everybody else saw them as such. She would take them in and allow them, peace. And that's a lot what you know about that, and it's just an ageless goblin.
Isn't that the place that's it's guarded by silver dragons? And there's what was her name?
Don't ask me.
Goblin Queen, Gristrop.
Hmm.
And
Never heard of her.
she's just like an ageless goblin queen that would accept anybody who wanted to lead a better life and go against the stereotypes of their race.
Interesting.
And the priest goes on and says, "Yes, that is true. It's if you can procure an audience with her, she might also have a way of restoring a body. Such an ageless being, assuming that she's not just some legend that the people of the Silverwing Mountains came up with. If you want my personal opinion, I think that she's one of the silver dragons that lives there. They often take on mortal forms, but it is said that that she might be a priestess herself the of the divine light. Though they say that there's some will argue that there are no more, but considering the rumors I hear about the Silverwing Mountains, it is quite possible she might be the last of them, and simply has not passed along her knowledge because she is, well, ageless or something along those lines."
The line we should keep open.
Yes.
Chance, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
By chance, if you could, a letter just to keep our options open.
All right.
Appreciate all the help you've given us today.
Well, it's like I said, it is an intriguing prospect if such a spell can be used to bring someone back even longer than 200 years if their soul is still intact, is still on this side of the veil.
I assure you, she's
Aye.
still intact.
Yes.
Loud, but still intact.
Hey,
It might also breathe hope to those who've been trapped in other unusual situations.
Concern would be the cost. Given how long I've slumbered,
Yes.
I don't have much.
Yes, it is a hefty amount of gold, but unfortunately, it's to procure the diamonds that are necessary for the restoration.
From what I've heard.
The spell itself consumes them, whether it succeeds or not.
you just kind of feel fumble. Just,
Like spiritually sigh.
yeah.
But such a spell can restore a body. It doesn't even need a piece of the old body, just the soul. It actually builds the body back out of diamonds.
If she needs help with the cost, I'll help.
I appreciate the offer, Dread, but it is a very significant sum, more than I believe we have. I will figure it out. I may discuss it with Volan, but if necessary, I have no issue indentering myself to the Temple of Pelor.
You feel Fumble's spirit kind of. You can tell it's a fake it's a fake happiness or a fake optimism. And then she says, "It's okay, guys. I'm in no rush. We can keep looking."
We will keep looking, and we will find a way. But if the two of you wish to continue back to the ship, if it's all right, Father, I would like to wait so you can get that letter written.
That'll take but a moment. He smiles. Just be patient. Wait right here. I will sign and seal a letter for you. And he, walks away from the altar and heads off into a side office
Can't hear you.
and starts he sits down at a desk and starts writing something. It only takes about 3 minutes before he comes back with a sealed letter. Guys, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you guys. I kept hearing people trying to talk over me, and it's like I get.
No, sorry, we were whispering. I thought I had muted the mic. I'm so sorry. It has a manual button that really does not like to be muted.
Yeah, I thought maybe you just didn't hear me.
But we heard. Fumble and I were having a small side conversation about this. Like I said, I thought I had the microphone muted.
Okay. Yeah. So where was I? He comes back after 3 minutes with a small letter with a wax seal on it, and offers it to Cogsworth.
Thank you so much, sir.
Think nothing of it.
You,
Go ahead.
if I may ask, do you accept donations?
Oh, of course. The Temple of Palor always accepts donations.
You see the right,
The pink side?
yeah, the pink side, reach in and grab out a few gold pieces, and she gives it to the gentleman, and when he counts it, there are 13 there.
Thank you, and I do hope you receive a second chance at life.
Thank you.
I will.
Noxie looks at Cogsworth really confused. Like, reaches into her pocket and fumbles around a little bit, pulls out like the remains of a cupcake that she received a long time ago, and also
Fumble just pats Noxie on the head, like, good job.
Was that a cupcake?
You didn't want to finish it? How about we get some fresh cupcakes?
she nods like really fast, like she's
Great.
The priorities. Never a dull moment. Carry on.
Yes, let's carry on.
For leaving, I'm just gonna ask, hey, do we still have fish on the ship?
You guys have still have a bunch of supplies on the ship, yes.
In particular, there is fish.
There's some dried fish. Let me double check.
Of some kind.
Yes, there is meat. There's dried fish. There's dried eel.
To get fed.
I'm making sure.
I just gave away my last bit of fish in that cupcake. It was a fish cupcake.
Oh God.
Carly made this one person made them, and the two sea elves loved them.
Yeah, it's probably like really stale and old by now.
There's like a little bit of mold growing on it. So yeah, you got. Well, actually, no, you don't have anything direct fish. There's only salted. There's only snake steaks. You got left in terms of the non. Lobu wasn't there to fish this morning.
He fishes every morning usually.
Yeah, but he wasn't there this morning. He went. He went off to find Claire.
But I know that.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Yeah, I could tell you that though.
So did Tell me that.
Yeah.
The best.
Future past, bitch. God
Yeah.
damn it, Topaz.
Cassandra's still sitting there on the ship because nobody took her anywhere.
Future past, bitch.
Imagine if we get there and the ship is gone.
So you guys head back to the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You head back, and Cassandra's still there. She's on deck, and she's just like staring at the shouting. The door. Well, they're not no longer in their room. She's staring kind of at the shouting Topaz and Volan because she's not sure what the hell's going on there. But you guys, get back onto the ship and hear, just the normal conversation that those two have.
So, I guess, Fumblesworth, Dread, and Noxie, with all these things on our minds, are gonna go get some cupcakes heading back to the ship.
Exactly.
Oh, so you're going to the cupcake place first. Okay.
Yep, I guess.
Alright.
Cupcakery.
Switching back to looking at my short list.
And then we will eat cupcakes by the ocean. Na 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 na.
All right. So you find yourself a bakery. And this one is called A Bit of Sugar and Spice. And inside is a smiling halfling woman. Ah, hello there. Can I help ya?
I need cupcake.
Yes.
What kind of cupcakes?
What kind do you have?
Well, I have some nice cinnamon cupcakes, some blueberry cupcakes, and of course, chocolate cupcakes. What can I get for you?
How much are they a dozen?
Well, that'll be about 1 gold.
Noxie holds up a sign. How much for one of each?
Oh, 1 of each. Let's see. That'll be. She calculates for a minute. That'll be 2 silver.
Dozen each.
Jesus.
Dozen cupcakes that we can't eat.
Buying them for everybody else.
So 3 dozen cupcakes.
1 dozen of each kind.
A dozen or 1 of each. She's looking very confused.
Of each kind.
Oh, 1 dozen of each kind. Okay, well, let's see. We have the cinnamon cupcakes, blueberry cupcakes, and chocolate cupcakes. So yes, that is 3 dozen. That'll be 3 gold. And she starts brushing about, like putting her little hands on her apron, brushing out flour, and starts attempting to box up cupcakes. On the ship, Cassandra's just staring at the two while you guys are buying cupcakes.
To pay the nice lady and
Soon
go to the ship.
soon you have 2 twine wrapped wooden parcels.
Just 2?
She managed to fit 3 dozen cupcakes in two packages from what she
Okay.
had. So
there's 18 cupcakes per box.
Mm-hmm.
so
Just out of curiosity, what race is the person?
halfling.
Halfling? Okay, I did not hear.
It's a nice halfling woman.
This town is quite big.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes me happy.
Yes, it is. Let's go to the ship.
Agreed.
I look at Noxie. Which cupcake do you want to try first?
She just holds up.
Okay. When we get to the ship, I'll give you all 3.
Topaz and Volan, even as you're singing and saying other stuff at Cassandra, you see the rest of your party members walking back to the ship with 2 packages in their arms.
God, it's about time. Jesus, what did they buy now?
Let's see. Fumbles first. Fumbles first. Can I have 2 cupcakes, one for me and one for Cassandra?
Of course. And I flip open one of the boxes.
The boxes are full of pastry.
I'll just pull out the 2 random ones. It doesn't really matter what flavor they are at this point. I don't think.
And then Fumble gives Noxie 3.
I'll walk over to Cassandra and hand her one.
Cassandra looks up and sees what you're offering and sniffs and gives you a big smile.
I am going to walk over to Volan and Topaz and offer them. Would you guys like one?
As soon as you hand Noxie the cupcake, they're gone.
What kind are they?
Well, she didn't have any fish cupcakes, so I apologize there. But they are chocolate, blueberry, and cinnamon.
And what?
Cinnamon?
What is that?
It's tree bark. From what I've heard, it's delicious, but I obviously wouldn't know.
Here, just try the frosted.
That would be the chocolate, which, if I recall right, that's what Topaz really didn't like. Or
No, I
possibly
want to
threw
try
up.
that
cinnamon.
cinnamon. Give me.
Topaz, the last time you tried something, you nearly died.
Shut up.
Oh, we should-
Let her try it.
Fine. You do it on your own for it. That's your life.
Don't rob me of my life experiences.
Fine. That's fine.
So,
Sit over there and get fatter. I'm gonna try this cinnamon.
as with every other, thing that you've never had before, please roll a Constitution saving throw.
By the way, Volan, I like the new earring. It's very fitting.
Thank you.
Cinnamon's alright.
Or shiver in fear.
This is not bad. This is tree.
Essentially, it's a spice made from tree bark.
A very specific tree.
Actually, sounds like something elves do. This is a human thing.
I'm not real sure where it came from.
I don't know.
It's kind of dry though.
Do you want the rest of it or not?
Guess I want the rest of it.
Then here, take it.
That's something could sweeten Topaz's attitude.
And then I look over at Volan. Volan, would you like one?
Sure. Whatever one you like less, I'll have.
Give her the low calorie one.
Fumble looks at
I'll
Volan.
crush you.
Fumble looks at Volan and just kind of like, blink. I don't eat.
Ah. Right.
Okay.
Right. No, wait, no. Fuck you, Topaz. I'm gonna have the chocolate frosted one.
I'm gonna give Volan both the blueberry and the chocolate.
I highly
Thank you, Fumble.
doubt that Topaz should be saying Volan needs few calories.
One for each ass cheek. Go ahead, eat them both.
I'm gonna poke the bruises I gave her the other.
I'm gonna look over
All
at
strength.
Topaz.
Topaz
and
clearly
say-
likes angry sex.
Ow!
I'm gonna look over at Topaz and say, you know what? Who cares if her ass looks like 2 little piglets fighting in a tote sack? Let her be happy.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh, God!
Wow! Wow!
Just
Just wow.
Slightly venting out of the blue
I
sky.
feel so vindicated.
And you can hear like little gears grinding and rattling as he tries not to laugh.
Oh, God! I saw a post
Jaws
today
on the
about scenes where players managed to break their GM. It's like, who would have known just a random line gets me to break down laughing.
Noxie puts her hand on Volan's side, I guess, because I'm not tall enough to put it on your shoulder. This just gives you like a.
What is happening? You know what? No.
You know, Noxie's hand on you looks almost more to scale.
Volan, I do apologize. I can cure acid burns. I can cure flame burns, but I can't cure that level of burn.
I'm not immune to psychic damage, so that hurt. But
But
Let's
you'll eat it.
just-
You'll eat them
are we
both
ready?
anyway, won't you?
Fumble's gonna hand her another chocolate one, just like, I'm sorry.
I'm taking my cupcakes and I'm eating in my.
Cassandra doesn't understand any of you, but she's just staring aghast at your expressions. And she's got this sense that something that something just happened.
So Fumble feels, I mean, she feels bad that she said it out loud. Not really that she said it. So she's gonna walk over to Volan's door and start trying to like shove a cupcake under the door as like an I'm sorry.
Crumble.
Huh?
There's a bunch of stuff crumbling, and
Oh yeah. Just
Trying to shove a cupcake under the door.
yeah. Like I did with you in the note the other day.
You just
Pinching the
smash a
bread with your
cupcake
nose.
on the bottom of the door.
And then you see like a little robotic fingers like pushing the cupcake under the door.
Pushing the crumbs.
Yeah. And then you just hear, I'm sorry.
I'm just sitting there laughing the entire time watching you do this.
Maybe we shouldn't piss off the ghost hunter with a great axe. We're trying to split ourselves in two, but not that way. It's not going to work. The bullet's not going to work.
We haven't tried it.
I feel that look you're giving me.
We haven't tried it though. Who
No.
knows?
No.
Maybe if we make the great axe really, really hot, when we get
No.
cut, it'll cauterize everything.
We can hear you trying to lick the floor, babe.
Oh God!
There's no fucking words. The door's locked.
Olin, do you want something to drink?
Why are we? Go do something. Fuck off.
Olin, and you just hear like a pawing at the door,
We'll finally respond.
like a cat would. Olin.
yeah, my cat's been doing that earlier. I had to let them in into the office because he was too cute.
Mom!
Olin.
Cassandra is slowly trying to eat her cupcake, watching this weirdness of the Warforged at the door.
Olin.
In all seriousness,
Hello.
when you're done with your snack, I needed to talk to you without the insults.
Hold on. I'm checking something real quick. To get
How
my
long
number.
does it take to eat 2.8 cupcakes?
I like to take my time. Contrary to your belief.
You need to save her.
You do?
Yes.
I just make them in a little
Maxie?
sandwich.
Stay out of that cupcake box. Well, she's the one that I would just assume would.
Also, you should not talk about savoring cupcake.
Why?
One of the first times I said I love you was because you fit a whole cupcake in your mouth.
That is, you're not wrong.
It was a mini cupcake, but still.
You're not wrong. I don't remember what we were doing, but we got
Mini
cupcakes. We got cupcakes, and I didn't think you were looking. I just shoved the whole cupcake.
Cupcakes.
And then there's the times that I'm turned around and I hear a and I turn around and there's a can of whipped cream in her hands and her mouth seems very full.
Everybody does that.
Oh, people that like whipped cream, I've been sick of it for like the last 10 years.
I'm
We
calling
put
out
a-
the sailors to start getting ourselves underway.
We put whipped cream on Dutch's nose last night, and
He flipped it on his back.
yep.
That's how bad he is at getting whipped
Stop
cream.
it.
You'll need to take Cassandra up to the mage college.
That's up to you guys if you wish to still do that or not.
Oh,
Oh no. We made Bolin so sad she left.
No, she accidentally hit
she's
something
back.
while she was whispering me.
She's back.
Lobo
I
did
thought you were going to take her up there earlier. Do it all at once. Look, we're ready to sail. If you're gonna do it, then do it.
Up to you guys. Do you leave Cassandra here with the Mages College, or do you take her with you to Saltmarsh? We don't have to roleplay it out. I just need to know the answer to that.
I guess Dredd would rather keep her here, but I don't think Topaz would go for it, so I think we'll have to leave her here.
Hey, Chris, you saw the messages from Lobu, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, just making sure you at least saw them.
Yep.
Cogsworth clearly doesn't know who she is, so he's not going to make any call on it.
No, this is me asking out of character what you guys are doing, just so we can speed that part along.
That was out of character, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think.
Basically, Dredd doesn't want to leave Cassandra alone, but Dredd also doesn't want another brawl to open up on the ship.
Yeah.
Well, it might be a little too late for that. You see Volan coming, stomping past you out of her door, Cogsworth, and right over into Noxie's room.
Noxie, give it.
She is like mid.
Noxie, you little shit, give it back.
There's like a pouch. The pouch of gold that she took is right on the.
I'm gonna try to make her reach for it before she can do anything.
Fumblesworth has now walked in because they were following Volan because we
Yep.
need to talk to her. And we're like, is this a bad time?
The note that she reads, "Hey, I took this for you. Sorry."
Oh, you were practicing. Right. That makes perfect sense.
She was mid writing it while you.
Practicing what? No.
Looks like we got.
He's gonna. GM, I'd like to attempt another. Another pick.
Okay, who you
It's like
pickpocketing?
going in for a little hug.
I'm just gonna. Noxie's gonna hug.
No. I'm gonna put a hand on her head and like hold her out.
Fumble doesn't know what's going on, so she's going to grab Volan's other hand and put it on her head too, so she's not left out.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Let's get away from the angry woman with a great axe.
Lubu gets onto the ship, seems to be talking to Cassandra. Cassandra nods and starts heading for the plank out. While everybody's Cogsworth, Volan, and Noxie are all in this weird tableau.
I'll follow them up to the Mage College.
Okay, Dredd has decided she's had enough of this and is helping out. Is helping out Cassandra instead. While you four are in the midst of things.
Noxie, what else have you stolen from us? From me? Just out of curiosity.
Your captain's hat.
Oh.
She looks like
At least.
she like rummages through her
Are you?
and pulls out a page of.
Oh no, that was a gift to you.
I'm still hearing a lot of dropping off from Noxie. Is anyone else getting that, or is that on my end?
And I think that's on your
You're
end.
fine.
Okay, I'm
I'm hearing a little bit of cutout.
gonna restart Discord real safe to be fast because I'm barely hearing Noxie at all. Be right back, guys. Oh, there's Discord.
Everyone else
Okay.
says this.
Okay, there we go. I am back.
Welcome back.
All right, so that's all that's in the barrel that I've stolen.
What's in the barrel? That's the part that I completely missed because I couldn't hear you.
So it's usually in my bio, but
Oh, okay.
She just pulled out a page of smut,
Ah,
but that was a gift, so
No, you can keep that. That's it? Nothing else?
she nods.
Does that seem correct?
Apparently, Noxie did take a page out of Olin's book.
Your captain's hat. She stole that.
Furl the sails, boys. Here we sit.
I'm
Uh,
gonna go
Swab
give
the deck or
Topaz
something a while.
another cupcake before she.
She could afford to put on a few extra pounds.
I walk over to Topaz and I'm like, "Would you like another cinnamon cupcake?"
Sure, throw one at me.
You should probably put this in your inventory, dear. How many cupcakes you've?
I probably should.
Yeah.
Noxie tilts her head as she's confused to the question that
Just
Volan
give it 3
asked.
flavors of cupcake.
I eat my
Just don't-
cupcake. I'll ask Cogsworth. What are they doing down there?
Talking about a page of smut.
What? The fuck? Going down here.
Mm,
I just cleaned up that room this week.
What are we doing?
Noxie stole my coin pouch and then told me she was practicing. And then tried to give me a hug? Don't like that.
It's what she does. It's what all goblins do.
What was she practicing for, Topaz?
To be better at it. Good job, Noxie. Did anything else she take?
There was the smut book, or the page
That was a
I
gift.
gave that to her. Yeah, that was a gift, right? We agreed on that. I mean, fine, I guess. Just don't do it again.
Rather her steal that than fucking jester dolls. I'm going back up on deck.
Noxie gives a thumbs up and a wink.
Oh my god. Can I check myself over? Did she steal something from me?
she didn't send me a sleight of hand this time, so no, she did not.
I did not.
Fucking paranoid now.
hey, Volan,
We're gonna.
What's up?
There's something we wanted to discuss with you. Everything that's been going on.
Okay. Did you want to do it here, or I guess Topaz is in the room?
Problem with it being public, but we can wait until we set off. It might just change where we're. If it's something you're willing to do.
I heard my name.
Oh my god.
eat your cupcake.
We stayed out last night so that we could get in contact with someone at the Temple of Pelor, where we ran into Dread and Noxie. There are 2 possibilities that might get Fumble her body back.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. What are they?
One is very pricey. The other might be a long trip. Apparently, what was the name of the town again? Something with starting with an E.
Silverwing. Or
No.
it was
Have
the
you-
Silverwing Mountains.
Hey, Dread.
Dread at this point comes back after escorting Cassandra.
Hey, Noxie.
She
do
she pops her head out of her room.
Do you remember the name of the town that the abbot of Lore would be in?
She shrugs.
Noxie, roll me a history check with advantage.
Oh, never mind.
If Noxie fails, I was going to look at the letter, see if he by chance wrote down an address.
Noxie, you remember Estevis. It's a city, another city-state, much like Orin, that is far to the east of here, inland. It's actually it's a junction space between a bunch of roads. One that leads that you pass through it on your way to Orin. North of Estravis, the road north from Estravis eventually leads all the way to the center of Keoland. South of Estevis, and Dovin would know this too, but Dovin unfortunately isn't here tonight, goes down to Rivenwood. If you go east, that's the direction you came from, Noxie. You eventually run into the Argenium Imperium, and north of that is Toracor, which your city of Greyland is in. Uh, and then of course northeast of the Greylands is the Silverwing Mountains. Sorry, northeast of Toracor is the Silverwing Mountains.
Okay, so Noxie would basically relay that information to Cogsworth via note cards.
Yeah, it's all inland. It's all on the roads.
And like basically using a map and like pointing out.
Yeah.
And give
Hold on.
directions.
Let me try to. I don't have it. As I said, I don't have a scanner, so this is like a very if map is the watchword here. I don't have a good scanner, but I do have a map in front of me.
So, to get to Estivis, or you called it Silverwing, Fumble?
The Silverwing Mountains.
Silverwing Mountain. Estivis does appear to be a shorter walk, but we would have come up with the money in order to cast the spell to give Fumble her body back. The other would involve going to the Silverwing Mountains, and our lead there is simply a legend. So it may be a dead end.
Do you know the price of the more expensive option, or?
That's the map I drew.
Words of 20,000 worth of diamond.
Excuse me?
Exactly.
25,000 gold worth of a diamond.
Yep. Or a collection of diamonds worth.
Possibly, but yeah.
Okay.
I am aware. I doubt we have that money. But I wanted to talk about it so that if you hear any kind of lead that might be able to assist us, you could send it my.
So if you guys see that, the Azure Gulf is where you've been sailing around a lot. I actually drew the much more intensive map from the little squiggles I did on this one long ago. Orin is the one city-state that's down south of those mountains, and then Saltmarsh is actually just north of those mountains, and that one little river just north of the mountains, and right next to the Azure Gulf is the place that divides the two. Some things are probably really hard to read even when you zoom in on this map.
Yeah, on the left side there's that Azure Gulf, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's
And
where
then
you guys are
Orange is
now.
south.
Yep. Orange is the one. Pretty much all the circle spaces are countries or city states, with the surrounding area they control. There's like cities and capitals if they've listed in different areas.
Look, measuring, about how long do we think it would take if we could take the ship? Like, I don't know if there are waterways that we could go through.
There's no way of getting the ship you have through the Strait of Monsters.
Okay.
The Strait of Monsters is basically kept most of Meeg separate from Eberus to the south, which is the southern continent, for the long time. Pretty much that's why the big passageway over in Glamourpool is the main one that people use, because the strait is pretty much impassable to most normal ships. Pretty much until steamships made of metal started coming along from Eberus, they couldn't actually pass through that strait. That strait was way too dangerous.
Okay, gotcha.
Dangerous because monsters, or dangerous because
Strait of Monsters and environment. No, but basically it was called that because ships really couldn't get through there. They would bash up on the rocks and things would eat them.
Right. I was asking in case it was like an Iceland, Greenland sort of deal.
It's not exact. It's as far as they're concerned, there are monsters there. I mean, this is D&D. There are monstrous creatures in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The Felderbert Mountains are also pretty difficult, or at least it's difficult to move cargo through there. So it's like, there is the civilization that where Rivenwood is a major city of Delator, the country of Delator, but that's like just an isolated area, and it's really difficult to maintain shipments. But all the big roads that you see, those were there back during the ancient Meeg Empire 2,000 years ago, and were continuously maintained through through the Scarlet Imperium that fell about 1,000 years ago.
It would be quite a trek. If
Yeah.
possible, I'd appreciate assistance, but simply something I wanted to bring up to you, Captain.
I do
See,
appreciate you bringing it to my attention. You're
I
right.
understand we
It
have a war to
is
fight.
quite the trek, but
Wouldn't
I
it be
mean,
easier to fight a war with an
It would, but what if the wars? Well, Topaz did make it sound very urgent.
I mean, I'm the most pressing issue right now. I guess for me would be dealing with the Sahagin. But assuming we survive that, I think we could weigh it out to the group. I mean, you've become a very useful member of this party, of this group, of the crew. I think it's something to consider. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, and I'll see what I can do. But I don't want to make you promises.
Thought of another possibility. If we,
Uh,
if when we come back from this trip, let's go back to the college. What if someone there's experienced enough that they could reactivate that network? What if there's a way to just jump? There's a network on that island with the druids, and I believe you said there was one in the temple. The old broken circles.
I believe so, right? Or on that island or something.
Maybe we could drop a line to them in between our trip. Because I do want to give Fumble her freedom as soon as possible while we're taking care of our more pressing issues.
Mm, we can see what we can do. Salt Marsh isn't too far away, so I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking we should do this afterwards, but I think that's a good option. If we could do it with the teleportation circles that the Druids were trying to bring up, I mean, they're already set up, right? We just gotta figure out how to get them to work.
We have the door, just have to find the key.
Sure.
Can you think of any other options to help expedite all of this?
I don't
Any-
know too much about separating
What about you,
souls
Fumble?
from bodies.
No.
While the others handle any possible politics or negotiations, you and I could always work around Saltmarsh.
True.
It would be slow, but it'd work up any extra funds we could.
Okay. We'll do that.
And I'll make sure to let you have control a little more often. I know you're tearing at the bars. So
Well, for what it's worth, it's only for now. I know that doesn't seem very promising, but it's something that will be fixed.
Fum will just kind of whisper herself. Sometimes.
No, you guys are cutting off because I'm not hearing anything.
she spoke very quietly. Her character whispered to herself.
Oh, okay.
Repeat that just to see if anyone
Yeah,
does.
she said, sometimes I wish I would have just died.
Aww.
And so Fumble is going to take control and just go over and like look over the side of the ship.
Head up. Where are you heading?
I don't even know.
Okay. So walking past Volan up onto the deck by the helm.
Mm-hmm. And Fumble is going to bring out her recorder.
While we are walking away, though, Cogsworth will say, if we could bring it up to the group later, I understand we have to head towards Salt. Wherever.
Fumble's going to bring out her recorder and start playing a very, I don't want to say sad song, but very
Da, 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 da.
Da-da,
Roll.
da-da,
Make sure to
da.
roll. Make sure to roll performance.
Watch it be the horrible version. Whew.
It sounds about that.
My heart will go on.
Yep.
Yeah, I played a lot of that song at one point.
Doesn't someone here play a concertina? I could have sworn I heard like Lobus say they have.
Oh yeah, I think that is what Lobu has.
I need to learn some.
Yes, Lobu's saying yes.
Mhm.
All right. So, what is your guys' plan? You heading out to Saltmarsh? You doing something else? What's the goal here?
Is the plan, as far as I know.
Saltmarsh isn't far away at all, right?
Right.
I think it's time we head back. We have to prepare for a war. We should probably also tell them about the pirates we saw. Just also the evil druids and
Fires, even druids, the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Right. Yeah. The blue and green faction, the whole mess.
Where the dragon used to live.
Yes. Very good points.
Speaking of which,
And yep.
The
Fumbles
entire
with his walking to the
archipelago is
bottom.
basically fucked. We just gotta go.
Maybe we should ask Lobu to get us some fish first. We don't have food. We don't eat food. Lobu is fishing.
Not
If
the
possible.
roll on Lobu's fish thingy then. Because everyone
Is
else on the
Lobu
ship
able to
already,
fish out?
all the other people on the ship already ate from the ship's stores. Let's see. Where is? Luck of the sea. There we go. Let's see here. Part of the spell.
1d4 minus 2, but you were very close. Swear to God.
Oh, fish for days.
2d10.
Oh.
You roll d20s.
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay with
Still
27
fish for
but
days.
it's entirely
So
up to you.
it's going to be 19 then instead of 27, because basically I just re-rolled the second one because I figured that one I got the max, so therefore 10. So re-rolling the second one's good. So 19.
But hey, 19 fish.
Yes.
Pretty God, though. If Lobu pulls up another fucking doll, I'm gonna take levels in Paladin just so I can smite him in the next week.
No, he doesn't find a doll.
Fumble is going to take, like 3 fish down for Squish.
And Squish is quite happy to see you. The mushrooms growing over the dragon meat are looking rather strange and lumpy.
Squish is looking strange and lumpy.
No. The mushrooms growing all over the dragon meat that you guys had stored down there. It's all been pollen. It's all been spored.
Oh, no.
You guys brought all that dragon meat in, put it down the bill, just put Squish down there. Well, Squish spored it all.
I think some of it got put back in a bag of holding and
I think
smoked,
some of it was, yeah.
but not very much. I really hope they weren't trying to eat that.
Yeah.
While Fumble is just petting Squish and
Squish is making strange rumbling noises.
Squish. Any alchemical shrooms?
There's only one way to find out.
Whenever you're done feeding him, I would like to check.
okay, you may go check.
All right, and Cogsworth is going to step over to the mushrooms And while not trying to step or damage any of the bigger, lumpier ones, he is going to see if there are any that might be of use for minor healing potions and stuff like that.
Roll a survival check.
Ooh!
Thanks
You
for
know
that.
what? Well, some of them, the lumpy extrusions may or may not be, the equivalent of eggs, of germinating veggie pygmies. Some of these other mushrooms around would be a bit like the yolk of an egg and provide lots of healing boosts if properly distilled. You might have just discovered a cheap way of making your own health potions, assuming that you can get the distillation correct. All you have to do is give enough meat to the to your new friend Squish.
Good. But so, upon realizing that these are essentially Vegapigmy eggs, I will not take a large cluster of mushrooms from any one. I'll take a few here and there from each, so they each have nourishment.
Okay.
So, off the 4 clusters,
Okay.
do you want me to roll anything for that?
Let's see. 4. So roll me a 1d4.
R/R 1d4. 2.
You manage to gather enough components that you think, assuming that you make the correct alchemy checks, can make you 2 healing potions.
I will stow that away for later.
And I will throw Squish the rest of the fish, pat him on the head, and go back up.
If I get the time to distill these fumble, I might be able to make a few dozen pieces of gold lines. It's a start.
Squish is useful.
Hey, Volan, I have some news.
Squish is useful!
I will relay what I learned. And sound mildly concerned when I bring up the
Oh,
possible Vegapigmy eggs.
I was about to say. Also, Squish is procreating.
Oh no, that's not allowed. No. How? How is that?
He's sporing things.
No.
Dragon meat.
Vegapigmies.
Yeah,
Okay,
but it's making possible healing potion mushrooms.
wait. Okay, so there are mushrooms that heal people. Great, heard that before. And
No, I'm about to make healing potions out of them. Right now, possible.
okay. And also, there's eggs. I don't.
You could call them that?
Uh,
More like mushrooms with little mushroom people growing out of them.
Oh, that's not allowed. Let's be very quick. That's not allowed.
Well, they are on the ship.
Oh my god.
you're a grandma.
Are they still? Can we dispose of them? That's my question.
No.
I am not going to be the one that does it.
What if they can be our little nighttime assassins?
What if they take over? I don't like that. Hey Topaz. Their fucking frog has children.
So I'm sorry,
in
what?
our basement.
What?
He's not hurting anything.
It's giving birth in our.
I wouldn't call it
How?
giving birth.
He's just.
How is it pregnant?
He's
What is
gardening.
Not exactly pregnant.
He's gardening.
like-
Kind of.
What does that mean? Oh no.
They're mushrooms growing
the
on the meat you guys left down there.
What does that mean?
There's Squish
Come
running
with
around.
us,
doing
we'll
What
show
the
you.
fuck?
What the
Come on, we'll show
We just
you.
hear what the fuck resounding
And I-
echoing.
Just run down.
Oh my god.
And I stand protectively in front of Squish.
This. How many are there?
4.
4 clusters. I just harvested some healing mushrooms off of them.
Topaz, they have mushrooms and fungus people.
The mushroom. Go ahead.
Squish
ahead,
is currently there eating several pieces of fish.
Can you get your pet? It's eating our food supply.
What's it do?
I gave those to
Crap
him.
these
Literally just
piles?
fixed that up for us.
You can
Can we
see
see
that underneath the various piles appears to be dragon meat.
our hard-earned dragon meat is being.
I know a large portion of it was preserved up above, but I guess someone left pieces down here.
Someone?
I don't know who it was. It happened during one of my shutdowns.
Well, that's convenient.
I mean, at least I'm not committing murder.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh no. Topaz,
Sure,
can you
tell me
please
what
deal
happened
with
to
one?
Claire.
Oh no.
And you just see the pink eye like look around like, oh fuck.
You need to back off. Cogsworth, man.
If
You're honorary crew at best.
we can take just one moment and go back to the idea that a frog gave birth on our ship to mushroom
Yeah,
spores.
anyway, so what the fuck? You're making healing potions out of this?
Out of the little mushrooms growing around them.
I'm more concerned about the vegapygmy part. What the fuck's happening?
So, from what it seems, Squish has released some kind of spore that is growing vegapygmies on the piles. There's 4 of them right there. And if you think of them sort of like an egg, the little mushrooms that I gathered.
No, no, no,
some
no,
of-
no,
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 From
no,
what I
no, no.
we're getting rid of this, right, Topaz?
No.
This isn't
Those,
acceptable.
those things
This
are
is
going to
disgusting.
hatch and kill us all in our sleep. No.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Here's the thing: if you want to harvest the mushroom, that's fine. But we're getting rid of these things.
No. What if you make Squish sad?
I could give less of a fuck. Do we even know if it has feelings?
Can I
Well-
hear this conversation from up where I am?
Roll a perception check since you're 2 floors above.
This is not a mushroom rights discussion. We have a job to do. Places to be. We can't afford to be worrying about whether we're all going to be overrun by mushrooms in the
Yeah.
middle of the night.
Yes, Noxie, echoing up from the hole in the bilge, you heard a distinctive "what the fuck" from Topaz a little while ago.
But what if I come down and check them every day?
No.
You know, this isn't like growing an herb garden. Herb gardens don't get up and walk around and kill people.
These
But
are
if they wanna
fungus
get-
people.
If they want to get rid of them, then they're gonna want to get rid of Squish because he's the one that does it.
Can we make him stop? What? How is he?
I don't
what
know.
is
How do you
happening?
neuter one of these?
He's some kind of living fungus creature. But unfortunately, fungus isn't. Living fungus is not my realm of expertise. Boiling fungus is it.
Does this seem like an issue that could be resolved by just not leaving dragon meat in the fucking bilge?
Okay, let's put this in perspective. If you can make healing potions out of these things, that's a plus. Having them growing rampant and uncontrolled in the bilge, no. Control it, put these things in a contained environment where they're gone. I'm not going to have those and try to sail the ship. They will whale us down. We get barnacles on the outside. That's bad enough.
Isn't the bill contained?
It doesn't really exactly have a lot. And also, fungus can mold wood. Topaz makes a very valid point in regards to protecting the integrity of the only vehicle we currently.
So what you're saying is, I'm just screwing everything up.
No. if we do this properly, you still have your little companion for when you get your body.
If I get my body.
When you get your body. And I have a possible source of income.
I wish I could walk away.
Looking back at
Yeah.
Mullen. Am I being unreasonable?
I really don't think so. We don't want a colony of veggie pygmies in the bottom of our ship. I mean, the frog, fine, he's already on here. There's nothing. What am I gonna do about that? Okay, but this, at least we can contain, like we can control this, right? If he does it again, we just take it out. This is so gross. If he does it again, we can just throw him away. I don't know.
You can tell that Fumble's eye, if it would be crying, it would be. If it could cry, it would. That makes sense? I don't know, would oil come out of it? I don't.
Squish starts rubbing up against Fumble's back.
I'm just trying to be happy, okay?
We understand. However, we do have things going on right now.
Quick question.
Okay.
Well, from what I know about veggie pygmies, could I know that the eggs are edible?
Oh my god.
That's a good question. Roll a nature check.
Can I assist?
No, this is something that Noxie's doing without announcing to anybody else.
Oh,
Noxie, to a goblin, just about anything is edible if you try hard enough. At least that's what the goblins back in Greyland told you.
Noxie shrugs and begins scooping up eggs.
Well, it's more like one big egg, kind of eggy type shaped spore sack
What are you
with
doing?
these little mushrooms around it.
Okay.
So it's like each one of those four is like one big sack with a bunch of small mushrooms.
Just goes up and takes a bite out of it.
What are you doing, Noxie?
Oh, there's spores. I keep forgetting. Noxie's trying to find a way to like cut into it.
Roll a survival check.
can I assist with that?
Did you want to help Noxie cut more spores out? Because I thought you would have taken all that you
what-
planned on.
I mean, if
Dutch.
everyone is planning on removing them, Cogsworth is okay picking up the rest of the possible healing mushrooms. But as well, if Noxie is trying to remove this thing, Cogsworth is okay, for Fumble's sake, Cogsworth is okay helping to get it removed as cleanly as possible. Because he doesn't like seeing unnecessary suffering, and these are technically sentient creatures being eventually born. So he wants to at least minimize pain. Would Fumble allow that?
Well, it's more of is Noxie telling you first that she's going to do this, because right now you have no idea what she's doing, and you're in the middle you're in the middle of a conversation with Topaz and Villain. That Noxie just kind of wandered up.
If Noxie went up and pulled out a dagger looking like she's about to remove stuff, Cogsworth would attempt to help. Otherwise, Cogsworth will continue the conversation.
Topaz, are you going to deny Cogsworth assisting Noxie?
I don't have enough knowledge to stop it even from doing anything.
Okay, no,
I'm standing there watching them do it when
reason-
I'm asking them,
Yeah,
what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, that was the only reason I was asking, because you were standing right there. Sir, you can roll a second time, Noxie. Yeah, you're like making a big mess, and all this sudden yellowish ooze is coming seeping out from the one mushroom pile. It seems you cut into the main sack, and it's starting to deflate. venting that
Noxie,
ooze.
not helpful.
Noxie, come on.
She just kind of puts her hands on her hips and like looks at it and shrugs.
Oh,
It's kind of like an egg yolk.
What's Squish doing when this is happening?
Squish is making a sad erring sound and nuzzling you.
So Squish did follow us?
Yeah, Squish is staying with Fumble.
Sorry.
Noxie holds up a sign. We can't waste food.
Oh my god.
I understand, but If I could please remove them, I might be able to do it a little more cleanly.
Well, you're gonna have to do something with it anyway, because they can't stay like this.
Agreed. Fumble, may I proceed in removing them?
While it's nice to know every time I pee, I'm contributing to the ecological well-being of a fungus farm. We don't need them growing uncontrolled down here. Bring this under control, or the other option is we cut them out and burn them.
Well,
You know, Topaz, you don't have to be such a bitch.
Sure I do, because apparently people like you don't have the balls to do it. Going
if
back
I
up.
may, I do feel that at least occasionally, for Squish's well-being, we let one or two come to term. But if we could time that with whenever we pass by that island and just drop them off with their little community. But if it's all right,
Okay,
Volan, if we
so
if we but harvest them early, I can produce potions for us semi-regularly.
how you want to stop by the island so Squish can do what?
If, as we are sailing, our travels send us near the island, we could leave a patch or two to grow fully. And then, when it grows, simply drop it off at the island as we pass. Just to keep this delightful little creature happy. You are the captain,
It's a
Bring it.
mushroom frog.
but it is a living creature.
Is it a sentient creature? Okay, listen.
It
Listen.
responds.
We don't have the time to be debating what we're going to do with the fungus frog. We cannot sail with these things in our ship.
Squish,
I would.
go give Volan a big kiss.
Oh, I swear to God.
Oh.
Chris orders over to Volan.
And Volan is running away.
Just let him show you him's a good
What
boy.
the fuck does that mean? Oh my God, get your. I'll shove him in the bag of holding again, please.
Let him smooch you one time. Or here, just give him a piece of fish,
I'm
please.
getting.
Just one time. Stop running. Show him you mean him no harm. Aren't captains of ships supposed to be fearless?
Moxie looks like he's chuckling, and she goes back upstairs.
This is ridiculous. I'm
Squish
fucking
will
getting
stop if
out
you
of
just let
here.
him love
That's it,
you.
I'm out.
And while they're doing that, I will proceed in removing the rest of them as cleanly as possible.
It's okay, Squish. I love you.
Okay.
Hey, Dred. While you're down here, once I remove them, could I get a hand in carrying them up?
Sure.
Thank you. Right, and I will attempt to move the other three.
Alright. Where are you moving
three
them
individuals.
to, and in what condition?
I'm attempting to remove the egg things as cleanly as possible. It's like only cutting the outer layer, just like to detach them from whatever they're on.
Okay.
Take them up to Noxie to do with as she pleases.
Alright. Roll
then-
survival check times 3.
1, 2, 3.
Alright. You managed to successfully harvest the eggs, leaving behind only the sporing meat. The bits of
Mm-hmm. And then
weird fungal growths on them.
and how big are they?
I want to say football size.
So would one person be able to carry them and go up top?
One person like Cogsworth, then I imagine so.
I'm asking because I can hand them off to Dread and then harvest
Yeah.
the rest of the mushrooms.
Yeah, you can hand them off to Dread.
If you could take these up to Noxie. Noxie seemed interested in.
All right.
Thank
Squish,
you so much.
Squish seems to be watching all this.
I'll go up to Noxie's room with them.
I'm sorry, Squish.
And then I will attempt to
Squish
harvest the
paws at the wet
mushrooms.
ground. Alright.
I'll actually knock at Noxie's door.
So roll 3d4, Cogsworth.
Noxie will open the door.
I hand you the eggs and I say, these
Alright.
are for you to figure out what to do with.
They're more like very they're not firm like a football, but they're kind of roughly football shaped, and they feel like they're very squishy. So it's like a handle with care situation. In Cogsworth, you managed to get 11 more of those components to
Yep.
potentially make healing potions from.
So that's a 13 total.
Yes.
Alright, Noxie's going to just take those and carefully put them inside of her barrel.
Okay.
Yeah. With their consistency, it doesn't look like you put any further weight on top of them or they'll tear.
Need any more help down here?
I believe I'm actually just fine. Though, for Fumble's sake, while I will have to clean off later, we will go ahead and play with fish.
Did Noxie just put eggs in a dark enclosed space?
Oh no. That is not on
Wait,
Fumble.
where did Noxie put them? Out of
Her
character?
barrel.
Topaz and Volan did not see that though. They have no way of
Oh.
knowing that.
Oh
my God.
no.
My secret plan has been revealed.
But yes, she did put them in a dark enclosed space.
So after we play with Squish, we'll just go.
Also, how big were the piles of meat left in the village? Were they still somewhat sizable?
How much meat did you guys manage to harvest again? Because I'm forgetting. I think you managed to harvest like a limb or something.
So it would have been hundreds of pounds, but nothing like ridiculous heavy meat.
I don't seem to recall you having that much because a lot of your bag of holding got used up with that junk pile that Noxie cobbled together. So, does anybody remember exactly how much dragon meat you guys harvested?
No.
No.
Nah.
Let me check the
Yeah,
party
treasure,
treasure,
maybe?
see if it's in there. Let's see. Board the human's track. Dragon tooth. Dragon scales, dragon blood, dragon hide. There's no listing of further dragon meat. It looks like the dragon meat was either eaten or used up in the thing. So there's like pretty much just unusable husks left behind on the ground.
Okay. Then Cogsworth will, if Fumble allows it, before we go up top, we'll go ahead and go about cleaning out the bigger clusters of fungus, just so it doesn't eat away at the
Alright.
leaving a little bit, just so Squish, kind of is like in its own little habitat, like for comfort. But Cogsworth will make sure none of it grows rampant.
Alright.
Hey, Volan,
Mm-hmm.
by chance, just to see if it works,
Mm-hmm.
when we go into port next, we could throw a few pieces of timber down there. See if Squish can grow anything benign off of it.
Oh, so now we're deliberately trying to get him to spore.
I'm asking you so we can see if it will grow something that doesn't gain sentient.
Hey,
What's up?
if you
Cheers.
if you check on him daily and make sure that there's nothing growing down there that will become sentient, and I don't know, like Topaz says, kill us and take over our ship, I don't know, then he's fine here. We're good. That's his room, I guess. Just
Well-
you have to check daily.
I was thinking about maybe sectioning it off.
Constructing a room within it.
Yeah. Making one wall with a door so that he has part of it, and then we can still store stuff down there.
That sounds great to me. Hogsworth, if you want to throw some timber, some lumber, whatever the hell you want to throw down there, fine. He is your responsibility, and if I see vegapygmies growing in my ship, I'm going to get very upset, okay?
I understand. And worst case, we could always give them to Nox. I'm sure Noxie will dispose of them safely.
Yo?
Yup.
Fuck.
They honestly
Alright.
do remind me of eggs, though. I wonder if they boil well.
That cannot be put on Fumble if those vegapygmies hatch, because Noxie put them in a fucking barrel.
Yeah. They don't have any food though.
Noxie's not that dumb.
But in between Fumbles playing, I would like to attempt to distill a potion or two while we head over there.
Okay, so you guys are finally on your way to Saltmarsh?
Yes.
All
I honestly
right.
assumed we were on our way while all of us were talking, with the crew going.
Oh, I assumed nothing. That's why I had that out here. Because I was going to measure exactly how much time between here and Orin. I seem to recall it was a day, but that was on that other ship.
Wolin? Kind of a long shot,
Oh no.
but, if he is supervised, can Squish maybe come outside when it gets dark?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not, Fumble.
But even if he has a leash?
I don't want him sporing over the other levels of the ship. I didn't even know he could do that. Why does he do that?
It wouldn't even be all night. It would just be to get some fresh air. 10 minutes.
Does he even need fresh air? That means nothing. He's a fungus frog.
It's still alive.
He is a baby.
Is he though? Because
he's a baby bean, okay?
I'm simply looking for any opportunity to raise the funds to get her body back. But you're the captain, which is why it's up to you.
And it will take a full day of travel, by the way, to get to get to Saltmarsh.
Okay, what if I go down there, when I go and check on him every night, I go down there and I leave the door open so a breeze can come in, but I don't let him come up.
Do we have a ladder heading upstairs? Or is it a pair of stairs? Or a set of stairs?
I kind of picture it as a ladder.
Same.
Okay, in which case, fine. But I don't want him on any other level of the ship. That's it.
Okay.
Yay.
If we're docked, can he come out and
The
go
answer's-
outside and off the
Oh,
ship?
absolutely not.
Off the ship?
Absolutely not. Where are you taking him? Off the ship?
On a
Where?
walk!
Maybe that's not a... It's as big as... It's a simple dog. Maybe the captain will allow us if we go to somewhere deserted, like another island. But in the middle of a town might be a good idea. He might get hurt.
What if we let him loose on the place on the island with the pirates and let him sprout vegapygmies and then they kill all?
We could use him for body disposal.
Problem solved. Our little night ninjas. I think we broke our captain.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Topaz, since everybody is navigating, you're navigating the ship and the ship is traveling, please roll me a perception check.
Fine, Volan. I'll just be happy that you let me keep him, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Fumble. You're welcome.
Yeah, you didn't see
And,
anything all that interesting out on the water as you head from Orin to Saltmarsh. Passing by the Earth Mountains.
It feels like we've been in Orin forever.
The funny thing is, we've literally only been here one night.
Yeah.
Well, you were at Orin another night as well.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. What I mean is, like, we haven't been to Saltmarsh in a long time.
Yeah, it has been a while since you've been to Saltmarsh. So another day has gone by. Let's see. We roll that thing. Yeah. Roll 2d10. Yeah. Thankfully, there was enough fish left over from the day before to feed the crew and you guys.
And by chance, as we're traveling, would I be able to distill anything?
Roll your alchemy check, which I believe would be intelligence.
I believe that's what you said.
Yeah.
And are we just using the herbalism kit since they're so simple?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just roll one, or do you want me to roll multiple?
Roll 1. We're gonna do a bulk thing. Okay.
11.
And how many pieces are you attempting to distill at the moment?
How many would be possible? Because I have a total of 13. But, like, what's the time frame for a potion?
That's a
Can't
good question. Yeah, hold on. It's in the DM's guide. Let me check.
I think it's near the amount of time as a long rest.
Yeah, I think so too, because I've heard it before. I'm pretty sure it's also information in my DM's guide. Like, under downtime activities.
So if it's a full day to travel, if laws it, I could probably get 2.
There's downtime activities. Crafting magical items. Magical items. That's weird. I could have sworn there was one on potion brewing, but it's not under downtime activities, which is weird. So I'm not sure where I've seen that before. Maybe it was in a different edition.
I know it's in D&D Beyond.
And that could also be it. Potions. That's probably just So, okay, D&D Beyond. What's it say in D&D Beyond?
I don't know. I will pull it up real quick. Healing potion. Potoinub? Equal sign?
It's hard to type with this.
Hearing
pencil,
potion.
Chris.
What?
Oh God.
Right. Herbalism kit.
So what's it say?
It's not giving the time frame. This kit contains a variety of instruments such as clippers, mortar and pestle, and pouches and
Okay,
vials.
I'm gonna go with long rest time. So you do manage to use up one use of those mushrooms, and you make what you believe is a weak healing potion. Looks like just a 1d4 plus 2. It's like nothing special, but you know it'll heal you if you need it. Meanwhile, for you guys, it is your first look at the town of Saltmarsh. You guys come sailing. Oh, no, he's not there. He's not there. Oh, he's not there. And she's not currently. So the town of Saltmarsh isn't huge. It's clearly mainly a fishing village with a nice port attached. But the others have been here before. And, this place is familiar to them. There's a nice long docking structure. There's some docks, but the docks are actually looking fairly active with some rather unusual ships. And even when you guys were coming in, Topaz, you would have noticed on the way in that there was several new buoys, navigational markers in the water. As you guys head up toward, sail into the docks, taking one of the last spots that they seem to have available. If I recall right, you guys actually have a docking pass. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, I seem
Yes,
to
we
recall you
do.
bought one. And so when they see your ship and look at the registry, they immediately wave you in. Uh, a lot of this town, as Cogsworth and Fumble get their first look at it, you see mainly humans, for the most part, with some dwarves mixed in, just by looking over the edge. However, you also have noticed that the rest of you guys noticed this because it's new to you since the last time you were here. Some kind of weird, looks like some sort of craft that's docked off to the side, with a lot of coral decorations on it. To Topaz and Lubu, however, this is indicative of definitely something of a more merfolk design.
Uh, some of the allies are already here.
So, what would you guys like to do?
We should
Do you think they're
probably
friendly?
make. I'm sorry. What was that?
I was just asking Topaz if he thinks they're friendly. G thinks they're friendly. Sorry.
Merfolk? Should be.
Will they at least fight Subogan?
Oh, yes. How many of them are on it? Can we tell?
If anybody would like, please roll perception checks.
I'll roll a perception check.
Yeah. So, anybody that rolled over a 15, as you're looking back towards the water, you also notice a large eel swimming within the dock range of the area. Like they're not exactly at the docks, but within the area that was frequented by enough ships that if this was something that the people of Saltmarsh hadn't seen before, they would be raising an alarm at the moment. But no one, even though this is new to you, seeing that in the water, this is clearly not something brand new to the people of Saltmarsh. This is something they've grown used to.
Guess we need to talk to the counselors.
So if there's no objections, we go straight there.
Agreed.
Good. Oxy.
Yeah, we
sure.
can go. Sure.
So,
Lobu and Dovin apparently elect to stay with the ship, although it's weird. You really haven't seen Dovin all day. He's just kind of staying in his cabin. Perhaps his, night of not sleeping at all caught up to him, and he needed to rest even further.
actually, while you guys do that, how long do you think you'll be?
I don't know. could be less than an hour. It could be more. I don't know if they have plans to, or if they're just waiting now. So
Then yeah, Fumble and I will go. I just want to try to get this stuff processed so we can hopefully turn some coin around.
I mean, if you wanted to go out on your own, we could probably meet up with you, but we should probably head there at least.
I would just stay here and still these potions. I have a lot. So Fumblesworth will attend.
All right, cool. So we're gonna start heading down to the counselor's office.
All right. Even as you do, getting up towards the council offices, you do notice some familiar lizard folk hanging around outside. Uh, as in some of the individuals that you escorted here. Along with several others that seem to have come up since then that are watching from nearby.
Did the ones that we came back with speak common?
Yes, actually.
All right, so I guess I wave at them. Oh, good to see you again. Long time.
They both nod. It seems that you have are looking quite well. Things have been going well here. The formation of an alliance.
That's good. Is there any discussion of what happens next? Any news on the war or?
Yes, I believe there's a council meeting this afternoon about it. Perhaps it is quite fortuitous that you should come at this time.
If I could, I'd like to insight. I feel like he's talking in a very mechanical manner.
Sure, go for it.
I'm just checking for any kind of weird influence.
No, it just seems to be you. The lizard folk. It's quite common that some lizard folk are just very,
Okay.
very. The term that often gets associated with them is cold-blooded. It's more of a
I'll be honest, I didn't hear lizard folk. Out of character, I do know how lizard folk are.
Sorry.
But I'll just say Cogsworth doesn't know what a lizard folk is.
Yeah. It's like,
obviously, Bowman didn't attack, so I know he's friendly enough.
Yeah.
But sorry.
That's okay. But they're standing around out there, and even as you approach the building, you're seeing a rather out of place being that seems to be having a hard time moving back and forth on the land with their long lower body. That Topaz instantly recognizes as a merfolk. And she is definitely having trouble walking because she has no legs.
I'll go up and. What do they speak? They speak Aquan?
Yeah, they definitely speak Aquan. They also speak their own language as well. Aquan seems to be the main common. It's the equivalent of common tongue under the water.
I'll go up and say, they haven't made arrangements for you. You get around better.
Well, I'm only on the land now because there is a meeting this afternoon, and I'm having difficulty with this understanding of the time on the surface.
Yeah, it is kind of. But anyway, what time did they say it was?
Sometime in the afternoon is all I know, when the sun in the sky starts to move downward again. After lunch, they said.
What time is it?
Right now it's morning. It's breakfast time.
Yeah, you've got several hours to go yet.
Several hours in this sunlight. I suppose now you feel lucky to have legs.
Yes, most days. First thing I think of when I get up in the morning. Sure glad I have legs today.
Well, we're my people are much faster than yours in the water, but you have us beat on land at any point.
Mm, I'm pretty fast, but you're probably right. At any rate, we're going in to talk to the counselors
All right.
about this upcoming war, and it seems as though you all have a head start on us.
Ah, yes. Well,
What's the reports from how is or have there been many Sahagan attacks?
they have taken down t- two fishing vessels, from what I understand. Small ones, nothing that would normally be any consequence, and otherwise be put down to what the surface dwellers refer to as piracy. They are growing more bold. Apparently, have consolidated much of their strength in the old lizard folk domain, and the she kind of like glances towards the lizard folk and well, their domain. I have taken to understanding that there are plenty more lizard folk in this on the land, but theirs was well nicely submerged. A nice
Oh, there's quite a
balance.
few more into to the east into the jungles.
Mm. Well, that's where they're holed up currently.
Well, we worked with them. We helped them out, trying to bring them on board with this battle that we knew was going to happen.
Yes.
We've been away though, missed out on what was going on in between.
Mm. Mostly just arrivals of the various groups. Myself and Sakith, the the Lakath,
Do I know what these words mean?
the look. Sorry, I'm having difficulties with pronunciation. You guys definitely met one of these player handouts.
I don't know. Seems kind of fishy.
Oh,
Yep.
the
Those guys.
Well, I just learned about them.
Yeah. His D&D Beyond just added them as a playable race, I think.
Yeah,
But
one of the campaigns that I.
Aren't they pug cute?
Yeah, one of the. There was actually a campaign I just sat in on and watched because I was bored one day off, and they were actually. Sadly, they were used as slaves for a cluster of Sahuagin.
Yeah, that's what's been. That's why the free ones are, ready to give back against
Yeah,
the
take a
Sahagin.
farm.
Yeah. But yeah, Sakith, he's going to be coming up here soon, I suppose. He and some of his people are right now enjoying a swim out in the bay.
If I may ask, how large are mer people?
Um, they're probably about the same size as humans.
I mean, like, are they hefty like orcs or bugbears, or are they more slender like an elf?
They're more slender like an elf.
Hey, Topaz.
yes.
Uh, what's her situation?
Oh, they're going to be meeting with the counselors after lunch. There's been some skirmishes. A few fisher vessels have gone down. Nothing big. We're here just in time.
Captain?
Ah, good. There's actually a handout picture.
Captain?
Uh,
As a gesture of good faith, I can assist her about her day and work on some of my potions. I'll meet up with you at the ship.
sure. I guess you'll know me.
Bumble.
What?
We just. Sorry, she was upstairs, but she just got back. We just bumped into a
Merfolk?
merfolk, one of our allies, but she's struggling on land. Can we assist her going about her day until her meeting in the afternoon?
Yeah. Hush.
Could you ask her if she speaks common?
Do you speak common?
Oh, yes. I was wondering why you were not addressing me directly. She looks over at the metal figure.
Sorry.
I apologize. As you might see, I'm not exactly native to the water. I was unsure.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a being like you, but then most land beings are new to me.
Most people haven't seen a being like us.
Hmm.
I'll slip back into Aquin. It's somewhat faulty and has a split personality. If you can get past the obvious insanity, it does have its skills.
And she responds back in Aquan. Oh, that's good to know. Well,
At
thank
any
you.
rate, for the meantime, good to lean on, kind of like a doorstop.
She laughs. Uh, I'm I I'm Aaron, by the way.
I'm Topaz.
Cogsworth.
Topaz.
Noxie holds up her name sign.
Well, pleasure to meet all of you.
I'm Fumble.
She's my roommate for now. We're currently
Have you
working
come
on getting
far?
a new place.
Well, a bit. My people have been known to live in the waters just a bit south of the sorry, but to live in the waters of the northern Azure Gulf. The Sahagin have been getting more bold in their attacks, though.
How far off is that?
It's just a bit north of here. You're
Yeah,
near you're kind of in the middle of the Azure Gulf, where Saltmarsh
We've been
is.
going around the south part of it, haven't we? Like with the
Yeah,
pirate
the most part that's where you south the smiley face, the death symbol, the treasure symbol. Yeah, the treasure symbol is where you guys were found,
Yeah.
and the unmarked Ethos Island that you guys discovered. Well, you didn't discover it, but it was like not on the map that they stole from a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the island was there, it just wasn't marked by them.
So I guess your people really haven't run into the pirates.
Oh well, the pirates,
Um,
as I understand, are mostly stay up on the surface of the water. They don't tend to get too far deep unless they sink.
True enough. Well, my people have run into them more.
And where are your people located?
I am Mythashe, mother of pearls. Although I'm far from my clan.
That's I want to say that's down south, isn't it? Somewhere close to the Strait of Monsters, maybe. She pauses for a moment. It sounds familiar at any rate, and I haven't been anywhere near that far south.
Well, perhaps when all this is said and done, you can come visit.
Perhaps once we get the Sahagin out of this area, drive them back far to the west, back to the Chaos Islands. That'd be great.
Chaos Islands.
You aren't actually Topaz. Roll me a history check. Yeah.
Chaos Islands?
It's far to the west, out in the ocean. There's it's said that there's a rip into the plane of chaos out there that causes the islands to hop around mysteriously.
Surely that must just be a legend.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I've never been out for anywhere near that west. It's supposed to be dangerous.
Well, I'll bring that up to my crew. Could be we investigate at some point. How many leagues?
She thinks for a minute. Let's see. This is gonna cause me to do some more measuring. Yay, measuring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's well off my map. I just have to remember how much I have on my map. Oh yeah, I even put some indicators on that map that I shouldn't have shown you. Oh well. on the the map you guys sent you guys a copy of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from Saltmarsh to that particular location. There's 16, so it's probably more like. Let's see, that's that. No, if I can, that's the case there. It's probably another. Sorry, I'm trying to just do the math in my head, trying to remember incidents and stories I already have in my head linked to that. So that's probably about 100. I want to say 100 miles away. I'm gonna make a note
It's a
of
bit
that.
of a trip. But they move, you say?
Well, the islands, the entering into the Chaos Islands. Yes, it's about I want to say 100 miles. But yes, they are known to move. Like you can put on a map what islands where, and attempt to navigate it. But it says that what's the legend? It's an ancient legend because it has something to do with an old the old water temple. They say, and it says that only someone with the eyes of the divine can reach it, but that there's supposedly a map that can get you through right to the temple if in the mysterious Mistvale Island, which they say used to be part of the Chaos Chain long ago, but got anchored somehow out here, right into the Azure Gulf. Some kind of old waypoint on an old on a very old pilgrimage. Uh, yeah, Cogsworth, you can roll me a history check.
I do apologize. I was getting myself a beverage. What am I rolling a history
Never mind then.
check for?
We could just say Cogsworth didn't hear this. That's good.
Oh,
It's gonna be
okay.
useful. No. It's better that you don't know right away. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, then. Well, we must go. Sure, we will speak again.
Yep.
Our ship is the Stormy Jack. You can see it there,
Stormy
not
Jack.
far down from you.
All right.
Perhaps we can share a meal at some point while we are all here.
Oh, that would be interesting. They don't have too many interesting foods up here on land, as far as I can tell. Everything is.
We've made do, and we found some interesting ones, believe it or not.
No, Lyra. No, that's my pen. Just trying to eat my pen now.
I think you will especially like some cinnamon cupcakes.
Cinnamon cupcakes. I haven't heard of that, but I did see somebody's.
Cinnamon.
They're made from. That's what I said. They're made from tree bark, but quite good.
Yeah, Fumble bought them and I tried them and I liked it. Thank you.
Was that out loud, Fumble?
Yes.
No.
So, just heading back toward the counselors.
Alright, that's actually pretty much what you're in front of. You're in front of the building there. So do you wish to attempt to disturb them now, or do you wish to wait for the meeting?
I know what I wish to do. I remember I told you what my plans were. Look at what Boland typed.
Yes.
Have I
Uh-oh.
figured any of it out? I don't know how much time in the game has gone by. It's a downtime thing.
Downtime thing. Well, you've only been here. You've been talking for maybe 10 minutes. If that's what you're asking.
No. What Volan's talking in Orc.
And you've been learning Orc. If I recall?
Yeah, remember I said I wanted to.
Yes. Let's see, and that's
But it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, I think it's only been a couple of days. I'm trying to remember how long ago you started. But it definitely with those certain words and that. Like you probably picked out uh,
Your name?
like fucking cute Topaz and maybe face. But you have no idea what she said. But clearly, Fumble
Okay.
knew what it was.
I'm just trying to follow it as best I can, making mental notes of it.
Yeah, she's basically calling you very cute as far as you can tell.
And then I said your name and other words.
Well, what would my name be in orc? Would it be the same?
Topaz?
Yeah, Topaz. Yeah.
Because it's your proper name.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay.
Dread said something in Infernal that no
Yeah, I
one
have no idea what that.
We just accept it. Like, okay, that's fine.
probably sounded like in clearing, like Dread cleared her throat.
You know. So on our way to the counselors.
Oh, good. This group could use some counseling.
Some more than others. I'm talking about Lobu. He's got some issues.
Well, Lobu stayed behind with the ship.
I know,
Let's see.
but
Wrong. That's
you all have fun with that. I apologize. What was your name again?
Oh, I'm Aaron.
Aaron. I'm Cogsworth. My cohabitant is Fumble.
Well, hello.
You can tell who's speaking from the eyes, if you were wondering.
yeah.
Well, they're quite interesting, really. I've never met a being like you before.
Neither have I, that I can remember.
We've been asleep for 500 years.
At least.
500 years. That's quite a long time.
Well, technically, have I been dead for 500 years?
Dead.
It's a very
Oh,
long story.
no.
Let's just say, I took a few too many rocks to the noggin, she took a few too many knives to the back, someone made a prayer,
To my
and here we are.
Which is more like knives to the chest, but yeah.
Mhm. I was censoring it for her sake,
Ah.
so it wasn't too gruesome.
I was murdered. I was sacrificed.
The merfolk looks very taken aback by this. Her eyes are going wide, almost anime style.
But he saved my soul, so my soul is still intact. The body is just
She swallows
Probably
hard.
decayed somewhere along the 500 years.
Dear
but-
goose, this is...
Barely need to know that.
we're trying to get it back.
This is quite an unusual tale. She chuckles.
That it is.
You can't make this shit up.
But from what I've heard from Noxie, is that I make a very good doorstop when I go on the fritz and shut down.
I did not say that. It was Topaz.
No, at some point, like, someone told us that we were used as a doorstop, and I thought it was you. Because Topaz said the doorstop thing in Auckland just now.
That she did.
Would you like a cinnamon cupcake?
Well, Topaz did mention them, but I think I'm okay for right now. I did see somebody selling cupcakes in the square.
Topaz, catch! And I throw her another cinnamon cupcake.
You brought the cupcakes with you?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Shit.
What happened?
What happened?
Why didn't you tell me it was a cupcake?
She
Well,
accidentally
you
splattered
just
it.
used, like missiles to catch it?
Let me roll your damage on the cupcake.
Yeah. Roll the damage on the cupcake.
Oh God, how do I do that?
What's the damage on the cupcake?
It's dexterity. It's the dexterity throw. It's an improvised weapon. Let me see if let me see what you get.
Damage wouldn't be a roll though. It would be just be a 1,
I
right?
just want to see how hard she threw it. Is basically what I'm going on.
Where
So
did I
just
get?
roll dexterity. Click the word dexterity. Oh God!
wound up like a baseball pitcher? What the hell did you do?
Is that
Topaz catch with screwball coming in from left field.
Say ah. Just took it right in your mouth.
Actually, yes. What's your strength bonus?
None.
Okay.
I got it
So,
zero.
Her
so,
arm
so
spawns.
the Topaz, the thrown cupcake, as you move to dispel it, just shatters into a bunch of crumbs and everything right in front of you. It was a perfect throw, but thrown at high velocity.
I'm gonna take another cupcake out and walk it over to Topaz.
Yeah, and I'm standing there in partial shock with cupcake frosting on my face and splattered on my chest.
And
My
sit in
fingers
the-
looking at the crumbs around my feet. What
sit
the
sit the cupcake in her
The hell
head
did you throw a cupcake at me for?
and pat her shoulder and say, "You should work on your catching."
I did catch it.
That was
I opened my hand
an
with the
explosion.
crushed cupcake frosting in it in my palm.
Oh, so you don't need this one then?
Bitch, give me the cupcake. It's the least you can do after that. I'm licking my fingers anyway.
Fumble is going to give it to Topaz.
very gently.
Well, but be sure to stick it on her nose first and then sit it in her palm. So you can save it for later.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna attempt to reach my nose with my tongue.
I was gonna say, out of character, to help it be a little smoother when you.
Does she have a tongue that's long enough and dexterous enough to do that?
I don't know.
Roll a d4.
No. Not quite. Good practice though.
Well, I've had two male characters that I've had to roll d12s for.
Yeah, I'm just saying, roll a d4.
Yeah, I'm
Nice,
gonna
but
say
yes.
your tongue can just barely reach the tip of your nose to get off that frosting. No wonder my Volan likes you a lot.
Police.
Oh my god.
So, given Topaz's tendencies, I'm sure this is the first time she's had something splattered over her face. Other than the part of her knee.
Volan, it's two piglets fighting in a tote sack.
I'm guessing that's how Volan remembered it, though. She was scarred.
Oh
Oh no.
no! Oh no!
This is
In
fine.
Orcish, oh no.
Yes. And that was supposed to be an orc Volan.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
Alright, Aaron, let's get you to where you need to go before a food fight breaks square, shall we?
I'm gonna hand Volan a chocolate cupcake and say, "Your weapon, ma'am," and then walk away.
Aaron, let's go.
Quickly, quickly.
Would rather I assist you or carry you? It is entirely up to you.
I'm not gonna do anything because we have a war to fight, but I'm keeping this for later.
You should do it.
Aaron?
As when you least expect it.
You hear fumble in the background in orc. You should do it.
Aaron?
Do it.
Aaron?
The merfolk woman looks very confused at the moment. And she's like mumbling something in Aquan, which translates to "Whoosh, protect me from this insanity."
Where would you like to go, Aaron?
Well,
I'll assist you in your travels.
really, I'd like to get back to the water, but I would need transport back here when it's time for the meeting. So if you can guarantee that transport in a few hours, you can take me back to the water.
I have no problem with that.
Fumble starts to take out her bongos. I have war drums!
I'm gonna need my hands to assist. We
Oh.
can play war drums when we get there.
Well, what if I miss the cupcake war?
I'm helping this wonderful woman
Channel.
to the water.
But that's a program on Food Network.
It is.
I know.
Man, where did you see those people selling cupcakes? I think I'm gonna need more
Oh,
ammo.
well, the person selling cupcakes is in the market square.
Would you like to stop there on the way?
No. The square should be pretty easy to find. If you can, just please take me back to the water and pick me up again in a few hours.
Great, you scared her.
I have no problem with that. Let's get you there.
Why'd you have to go and scare her? Why are you always scaring people?
Okay, Fungus Bird.
Hey.
So, Nuxie and Dread, what are you guys up to during all this?
Nox is just watching. She's like entertained.
But also like the perfectly good cupcakes.
I kind of could see Noxie in my mind's eye holding a cupcake and just eating it while she's watching everything going on.
Because she has 3 hidden cupcakes somewhere.
Yeah, she got her cupcakes.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
And Dread, what about you? What are you doing?
I'd be watching as well.
Well, I just want to think that you might be facepalming.
Probably now and then, yes.
Is there anything you guys would like to do? Because you said that you wanted to talk to the counselors, and that would be before the meeting. We can do that, or we can wait until Dovin and Lobu are present. Up to you.
I don't know. They need to be present for that. We're just seeing the status of the fighting and whether or not they have
Alright.
something particular for us to do.
So you head in, and that same tabaxi receptionist is at her desk. She kind of like looks up. Oh, I remember you. Are you here to see Ida again?
Yes.
Well, she's a bit busy, but I suppose that she would be interested in seeing you. She did mention you the other day.
Well, here we are.
All right. And she kind of like just waves you on back towards the room. Just knock on the door and go right in.
Did Topaz ever clean up all the cupcake?
Nope.
See?
So there's still frosting on her nose and chest.
Probably.
Yeah, it's okay. Volan will clean it up later.
So
Is there still frosting on Boland's nose?
I don't know if Volan got it off or not.
Yeah, I used the bear rug though, so.
Aww.
you brought the bear rug with you?
Oh, I have it tied around my neck.
Oh, cool.
Like
Using the bow, using the dragon tooth as a clasp.
I think I really just fucked up the bear rug and tied it together a long time ago as my totem and said fuck.
Ah, okay. Cool.
So it looks like a mess, but
It literally
this is-
looks as if someone just took a bear hide off the floor and strung it around your neck.
I was just thinking that I had a character once who did that. I'm trying to remember who they were. I just remember the description in my mind's eye of the cape or cloak that was held together with a with dragon bone and as part of the clasp. It's kind of neat looking. So you knock on the door, you get called in, and you see the familiar face of Ida Alland behind her desk. She looks up and is a bit surprised to see you, but she then kind of smirks. I was wondering when you were gonna fucking show up again. Are you guys looking for work, I hope?
Well, we came back to tell you what all we found.
Oh, good. Maybe we don't need to send that reconnaissance mission after all. Did you find the Sahagin base then?
Oh no, we didn't go there.
Ah, well then, I have good news if you're looking for work.
Well, we
So,
did
tell me
come
what
to
you found.
check on the progress of the war.
Well,
See that you have many allies out there.
oh yeah, we're having a great big fucking meeting about it this afternoon. The lizard folk are gonna be disclosing what information they can about their old settlement, the one that the Sahagin took over. And we're hoping
Well,
that...
we bring tidings of great joy from
Oh?
out in the deep western oceans. Oh yes, we managed to
The
kill
ocean?
a green dragon who was the boss of a cult of evil druids
That's
that
bad.
are working out there. Also in league with the Scarlet Brotherhood and who else was there?
Fucking Scarlet
Trying to-
Brotherhood.
There was who were the other ones?
They're a headache.
Someone help me out. Who were the other ones? Oh, the Dark Knights.
I don't think I'm familiar with the Dark Knights.
Black Knights.
Black Knights. But at any rate, they're working on reestablishing a series of teleportation circles.
What? What?
One of which supposedly is where was the one? There was the one around here. We
That's
put a
fucking
wrench in their
fantastic.
plans there on one of the islands.
Here,
But,
I'll pull out the map and I'll start
yes,
pointing to where we
you
think
need the
they
map.
are. So.
But yes, so on top of everything else, you also have to worry about whether or not these forces are going to suddenly appear in places you didn't expect them because of teleportation circles. I don't think the Sahagin are going to be an issue with that, but other groups.
She kind of runs her hands in her hair. Oh, I'm trying to focus on the Sahagin first. If we take care of that threat, because they're actually fairly close to Saltmarsh, then maybe we can look into this. Although I imagine by then, well, I'll probably be sending you guys up to Madronis and seeing if the king's people wish to take a look at this. I mean, we're just one small town. We're part of a country now. We're just worried about our own backyard here, whereas
You want to send us as diplomats?
well, you'd be who we could spare, since we've already lost a couple of small fishing vessels to the Sahagin. We need as much revenue as we can down here, and well, you guys aren't fishers, are you? And you're not supplying needed cargo, so yeah, we could you're mercenaries. We could pay you to go up north.
Well,
That
I
ain't
don't
a
mind the
fucking problem, is
paying.
it?
I don't mind the travel. I just thought we might be able to put our talents to better use than that.
It's money.
Speaking of money, we haven't exactly eliminated the pirate threat that you talked about earlier, but
The
there's
pirate.
definitely
She kind of holds up a hand and says, "The pirate threat is ongoing for all of Keelland. It's not just us here. I mean, that's the reason we finally joined Keelland. They said they would help with the sea princes and everything, but yeah, any information you can give us to help disrupt more of their network, that's great."
Oh well, we can show you the exact location of one of their strongholds. It's on this map of ours.
Oh, which
We
place
followed them
is
back.
it?
We basically reverse engineered and followed back one of their ships. Came across
Alright.
them. There were quite a few, mostly hobgoblins, but there were other races as well.
Where is it? She kind of looks down at the map.
Pointing on the map to the hell was that? The smiley face or something?
Yeah.
It's a smiley
And
face.
she frowns a bit and goes rummaging through one of her maps and pulls it out, sets it down, and you see a name listed on her map that corresponds with that island. The name that you just heard recently, Mistvale. Of course, they're hiding in Mistvale. How
Oh,
they're navigating through that thing is.
well. And I was just speaking to one of your merfolk out there
Aaron?
who mentioned that very island. Yes, I believe that was her name. She said that was a place that had some old temple, and there's a rip to the chaos plane out there. causes the islands to move?
I, I, well, that's well, that's not exactly our problem here here in Saltmarsh, but again, it might be something that the people up north in the capital might want to know about.
Well, if you're bound and determined to send us up there, we can start getting the ship ready.
Well, look, she holds up a hand. Look, uh, what I'd really like to do, and I'm hoping you'll come to the meeting this afternoon because I'll lay out more of the plans then to the others, and hopefully they'll agree. But since you're here now, maybe you can start getting your ship ready if you're up for it. Uh, see, maybe you're not interested because maybe you feel like you can't really do this particular type of job. But I'm hoping you'll be up for some reconnaissance before so we know exactly how many Sahagin we're dealing with before we send in attacks. I figure that some people like you, and she actually is looking directly at Topaz, not just sailors, but folks that are good underwater, might be able to do, discover some better information than just standard sailors can.
Well,
Reconnaissance mission will turn into a fight.
As it turns out, with a little bit of preparation, we're all pretty good under the water.
Yeah. Now to make it clear, I'm not expecting you to take them on by yourselves. I'm hoping you'll be able to do is get in and out without having to fight anybody, and just take a reconnaissance and figure out just how many what their defenses, how many enemies we have that are down there. If there's anything
Right, but when all that
unusual-
goes to hell, you want us to kill them, right?
when all that goes to hell, I'm suggesting you get the hell out of there and join in with the rest of the potential fights.
But if we were to take them on, that would be acceptable. Yeah.
Well, I'd probably be. Well, I wouldn't say bury you, as I doubt there'd be anything left. But see, then you wouldn't return, and we wouldn't know the information that we need to know. So if you take them on, well, if you take them on, I don't think we can actually pay you for that sort of thing. But that being said, we can, you can always loot them if there's anything left. I imagine that nobody will fault you for that if you manage to survive that sort of thing. But
Works for me.
yeah. But
And I'm looking around if anybody had more information on the other groups that we ran into. My notes weren't the best. We had the evil druids. Do we remember? They worship the green dragon, right?
that's what you seem to remember.
We had
What would
full,
do we have those writings? We have found something written proof of this, the involvement of.
Dovin, I think, has it, and he stayed on the ship with the information.
Oh, well then we're gonna have to go back and get it and bring it to the meeting.
we had followers of Loth involved too.
That's right.
And they were involved with Sahagin? She asks for
Oh,
remember.
they were with druids on that island, sort of.
But didn't you just say you took care of those druids?
Those druids, yes, but there are probably more.
Well, we haven't really had any problems with druids here. It's as I said, one enemy at a time would be great, but this information is useful still. It's just I think all of us are a little bit on edge about the Sahagin at the moment.
Sadly, you can't ask your enemies to wait in line.
That's true. That's true. So, what about these transportation circles you were telling me about?
The what?
You were
Rotation circle.
you were telling me about teleportation schools.
Yes, we had some information on that. I don't have it in front of me. I think we had a map of where we thought some of them were. We can bring that later.
All right. So, would you be willing to take on an investigation mission to the old stronghold of the lizard folk, the ones that the Sahagan took, or are you just willing to be part of the attack force when some other investigation party goes through?
Well, that's up to the captain.
I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think it would benefit us all to get some information on. So, if you'd like us to run reconnaissance, we get that.
Yes,
I think it's
yes, I
probably
would.
a good idea. Yeah.
So, the details will be this afternoon when we're all together. You'll be you'll be there as my guests.
I don't suppose there's anything else we have to share with you, that you have to share with us. I guess we'll see you later.
Oh,
I'm
like I
gonna
said,
look around.
I've got information to share, but I'd rather share it all at once to everybody, not just one bit of information to one group and another bit of information to another group.
Sure, understandable.
So I'll see you in a few hours.
Yes.
A few hours.
And hopefully that will also give time for both Lobu and Dovin to rejoin, because Dovin might have some extra information that he needs to share. So we'll pick it up again next week.
Alrighty.